Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, it's Michelle. And Michelle, I love your new bee buddy for your photo.
Well, actually, I signed in with Michigan Bee Association, and that's that symbol, but I had to change my name. Um, I have a question because of this wind. I was thinking about it. Is there, do you have any success with planting an evergreen that would, get 4 or 5 feet tall in a large container?
Oh yeah, you can grow anything in a container. Roof gardens do it all the time. The problem with being in a container is the water situation and the hardiness situation. Water situation is that that container is going to fill up with roots, and where you might have started off with half soil and half roots, so you've got X amount of water holding capacity. As more roots fill the pot, you have less water holding capacity, so you have to water more frequently. It's the same
What
amount.
if what if I cut the bottom out of the container?
That will help. Um, because then the roots
How about
can
just sitting
find their
on the
way.
ground?
Yeah, yeah, unless you're sitting on pavement. Um,
No, on the
No,
ground.
it's just that,
A misunderstanding.
everything that I look at says, really good drainage. Well, I don't really have good drainage here. So I'm looking to see if I can help out in evergreen, hide one of my beehives or protect it from the wind.
yeah, you can. That's the same thing that we do with our
Okay.
PVC pipes when we cut them, because
Yeah.
sometimes when I knock those over to change the soil in them, there's quite a network of roots that has reached out of the bottom and started spreading out. It's no good for flare roots, but it's good for feeder roots. But it doesn't change the hardiness issue. Make sure that the whatever evergreen you use that you plant there is hardy for at least the zone colder than you are, because the sides of the pot up out of the ground and exposed, there's no way that they can prevent freezing, and some roots can't freeze. They die if they freeze. In fact, the roots are less hardy than the top of the plant. So some of these plants that we have that'll go down to -20, -30 degrees, their roots will only go down to about 10 degrees above zero. So if the ground freezes, it stays at 32. But if it freezes and dries out, and it gets super cools, and
Yeah.
then you kill the roots.
Okay, thanks. I just now have to look for deer hardiness too.
Oh, that's tough.
The other issue would be the amount of water it needs. Once the
That's
roots
right.
get full, it might need more.
Well,
Or
it
less.
won't need more, it just needs it more frequently because
Yeah.
it has no place to hold it, just
Yeah.
to store any water.
Okay.
In terms of hardiness, then you're gonna go with a pine probably, because the white pines are gonna be your hardiest. Thank you. Nancy, what do you got to tell us about this morning on this uninteresting from our angle morning?
Good morning, Janet and Stephen. It's nice to see you both warm and safe inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably doing the same thing there, but snow was just swirling around here.
Yeah. Fortunately,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
it's fortunately it appears to have blown off the trees for the most part rather than iced onto the trees.
Yeah.
The breakage during the night, and I don't want to see any more.
Yeah, David was out last night shoveling and then going around to various evergreens and trying to get some snow off. My question has to do with spring planting. I've been looking for a variety of begonia that we can't seem to find anywhere, and I want to give a lot of credit out to Jessie at Bogey Lake Greenhouse, because she has been very persistent in trying to track it down and calling various growers, and she can't find it either. One of the things that we finally found out was that they changed the name from Sparks Will Fly to Glowing Embers begonia. And I only happened to come across that when I started looking at images of begonias and found the very same image in the very same planter under a different name. So I have been able to find glowing embers sold as plugs, but I've never ordered plugs. I don't know what to do with them. So I'd like to give it a try, but I guess I need to know when to order it, when I get it, what do I do with it?
You're looking to become a grower
Yeah.
because
Only for my garden.
Two things about ordering as plugs. One is that you're going to get a bunch of very tiny plants, sometimes in what's called a 100-pack, where you'll get a flat sized sheet with dimples plugged in it, and it'll have 100 or 88 or
depending on the size of the plug.
But they call it 100 flat. And they are just at the time when they need to be transplanted. That's the whole idea was, so you're going to have a lot of transplanting to do into small pots. So you'll need to buy yourself a bunch of little cell packs like we used to buy annuals in or whatever, and potting mix to pot them, and you'll need some light to keep them going, because those will come earlier than you would really want to have certainly to put outside. So you'll need a light situation. That's the one thing, is that you have to be ready to handle them when they come in. One of my clients did this, and I thought, well, good for him. He's really getting into it. And then later in the year, when I was knocking around inside the shed to get some stuff, there's all these flats of dead. He had ordered them, but then he hadn't had the time to do anything with them.
He only needs 10.
Yeah, the only other thing is that many of those plug producers are only selling wholesale, and they might have a minimum order that's kind of high. So
yeah, and what I was looking at, they were selling I think what they call jumbo plugs in quantities of 5 or 6.
Oh, that's great.
And they were in how did they describe it? The fiber pots, something like that.
Yeah, they're little nets.
Yeah, not quite plugs, and what I pictured plugs.
They're bigger than the nursery plugs. So good. That's
so. Thank you. You scared me there for a minute.
Well, it scared us too. I'm thinking of all these plants.
Yeah.
That
you'll be doing what our friend Burdette used to do after she'd seed in her flats. And then she'd plant her 10 or 12 of whatever it was, and then start driving around the neighborhood, dropping plants off at people's houses.
Right. So when do I order it?
Well, it depends on how long you want to hold it. If you've got lights, you can hold it and you're going to be around to keep the water steady. You can order anytime. They'll probably ship when they're ready, so they probably won't ship tomorrow. But nurseries are getting those plugs in now. So if it's the same grower who's growing on plugs for nurseries, they've got stuff set for you in just a couple of weeks. Yeah. January is the big planting time.
They may have a suggestion when to order based on your zone. Some of the catalogs, they'll say if you're in this zone, order during this, but it's just a suggestion.
Yeah, and for annuals,
and you don't want to risk it being sold out.
No, not all that.
Not with all that looking you've done.
Is it the color and the height that you were looking for a particular glowing ember?
Yeah, it's the color especially. It's an orange, but it's a very subtle orange, and it works beautifully with the Wall Street coleus that I always get at Bogey Lake.
Oh, that's great. Wall Street coleus.
Yeah.
Yep, Main Street, Wall Street, it's called.
Yeah. For those who are just joining us, Nancy is talking about searching for a particular begonia. We've done the same thing, and then taking that name when she couldn't find it to order herself to her greenhouse grower, who's helpful. In this case, it's Bogey Lake Greenhouse and Jesse. They are very helpful people. We've been to Marlene Yolanik at the farmer's market, to Golden Walsh,
different places.
And we do the same thing. We say, we're looking for this and we have found this supplier, but they're wholesale only. Will you order them in? And I'll guarantee I'll buy them from you. Quite often when you go to a grower, a retailer who, like us, and like most of the people in the nursery industry, is in it because they love the plants. They'll go, ooh, what plant is that? And then they'll order in X amount because then they'll sell some of them too. So Nancy had found some and was wondering how early to order before they sell out. Like Steve says, it's important if you're tracking down something unusual.
If you're tracking unusual, and we've done that where we thought, I looked on a website, oh, they've got 70 of those. We're good.
Yeah. Okay.
And they were
Thank you.
Time for us to go. Yeah.
I was saying, I'll say that advice goes for libraries as well. Librarians are into librarianship because they like books. So if there's a book you're looking for, try talking to your librarian about ordering it in. Similar principle to nurseries.
Exactly. And tell them which books they should get if it's too expensive for you to get, like the Gary Haichu trees shrubs and vines for urban and rural, native tree shrubs and vines for
Yeah.
urban and rural America that we tell you is so good. The last copy that we found, I know we could have given it away as a prize to you guys, but we took it to our library instead and said, this is a good one to have in the library. And they said, good, we have all these things and we don't know which are the ones that are the best ones to answer. So we'll get going here. Our tool cleaning was fun. I'm sorry that it was such late notice, those of you who got it. We had, I have a new our director at the library has retired and some things kind of fell through the cracks.
And
like
a librarian who loves books and not doing director stuff.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's tough on her,
The
but
previous director was a great gardener as well as a librarian. Anyway, so it kind of fell through the cracks about who was sending out the notice. But we recorded it such as it was.
such as it was. Those of you, yeah, quite an experience.
Yeah, part of it went quite smoothly, our planned part, but then we were trying to record people actually cleaning tools in front of a
Just
computer.
being at the beginning too, it's a little interesting.
Oh, well, I'll find that out when we do the recording, do the editing. There is a our season 5 schedule is up on the website, and we encourage you to take a look at it and see if you'd like to join us. We're trying something different. We're switching to monthly webinars, and every Friday, except webinar weekend Friday, every Friday evening, having this question and answer in our garden session, because people have been telling us they'd like to join, but the timing isn't good.
Yeah.
So
We'll see what we'll
see how it goes, and we can definitely use your support in order to keep that running.